Well, MIZ, what say you? You don't have to be a Mizzou alum to have a passionate opinion of what's happened at the University of Missouri over the past few months. Protests, resignations, threats of violence against some students, and now lawmakers making budget threats. And as the flagship school of a statewide system, will the ramifications be contained to Columbia? What comes to mind when we think Mizzou? Proud? Embarrassed? Worried? Stay tuned. Stay Tuned brings together local experts, journalists, civic leaders, and regular people to have tough conversations for a stronger St. Louis. Add your voice to our conversation, and you're at the table as we stay on top of current events and go deeper, bringing more light and less heat to the issues that matter. From the 9 network of public media in Grand Center, this is Stay Tuned. It was Mizzou's football team that pushed the university into the national spotlight last fall, not with their on-field play, but with their support of protesting students camped out on the South Quad and a grad students' hunger strike calling for the resignation of the university president. The students were protesting multiple issues, including racial divisions dating back decades, they said. The University of Missouri system president resigned, and the chancellor of the Columbia campus was demoted. But tensions remain at Mizzou. Recently, a strongly worded letter from the former president called into question the abilities of the interim president. And the only 2 African-American members of the board of curators stepped down. Enrollments are declining for the first time in years, and backlash by threat of budget cuts is coming from state lawmakers. Concerned alumni and others across the state are sounding off on social media. 2 curators resign in a week, wrote MJ. I'm suspicious. Alumni and taxpayers' demands for transparency will only grow louder. So what's going on at the state's flagship university? And could it have consequences statewide? Is Mizzou, as some lawmakers have said, embarrassing the state? Or are these the growing pains of progress? So it turns out students may be burned out when it comes to talking about some of the issues we're tackling here tonight, at least on camera. People are definitely sounding off on social media, students and otherwise. And as we do every week, we will be relying on social media, what you're saying, things you've sent us, polls you've answered, tweets throughout the show tonight. But we're also using Google Hangout to go to Columbia and to talk to a friend of the show, Gabrielle Hayes. Gabrielle, hi Gabrielle.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Gabrielle, full disclosure, because we are proud to say, does some intern work here at the 9 Network. Also a sophomore in the journalism school?
Yes, sophomore.
And so you're on campus. When I was there last fall for KSDK reporting, we found students, it was pretty easy actually to come across students who had thoughtful answers and opinions and wanted to kind of weigh in on what was going on. Our crew was there this past week, and it was hard to find anyone willing to speak on camera. Are people still talking about this on campus in terms of all the things we've already laid out?
So, well, first of all, people are definitely still talking about it. I think in regards to not being able to get people to talk, we've definitely had some instances, and it's not even a case of outsiders, I think, but we've had moments where people have tried to tell our story or tell their story, and it's been taken out of context. In some of our classes, we will go over how we were reflected, and sometimes like students would be referred to as rebels and things like that. So I don't think that we've stopped talking about it because it's, our campus, we live here. But I definitely think that people are a bit more timid, a bit more cautious because, we want our story told right.
Invaluable lesson. We could do a whole show on the teachable moments for young journalists and what it's like to be the subject of a story. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if we talked about things like the legislature getting involved and wanting to hold back money. I'm pretty sure when I was at Mizzou, we didn't know beans about what the state lawmakers thought of our school. Is that something students are engaged in and concerned about, or is it not even on your radar?
Well, I think that depends. Mizzou is a very big campus. We have approximately, I want to say like 37,000 students. So I think the knowledge about that really varies. As journalism students, a lot of us kind of know a little bit about it. So I think that depends.
You're more plugged in perhaps to the current events than the average student.
Yeah.
We'll brag on the J School there. Is campus tense? What's campus like?
Again, I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but I feel like when I'm on campus, I wouldn't say that it's tense. I would say that conversation is happening, and everyone is trying to work together to try to figure out how we can move forward. So I think we've kind of gotten past that step, and it's more of what are we going to do now?
Well, let's back up. So what is the biggest misrepresentation that maybe the folks back home in St. Louis don't know, don't understand, that you see and understand on the ground there at Mizzou?
Well, I think when you're on the outside looking in, it's easy to forget that these are people, and that we are people, and that we live here, and that we have to wake up tomorrow and go to class. And so I wouldn't say that it's just one thing, but I think what we as students, what we would like people to understand and to remember is that we are students, and we are people, and we are affected by these things. And well, essentially, we're here because we want to learn, and we want to grow, and we want to get a job one day. And sometimes I feel like that gets lost in the shuffle because it is such a big news story, and a lot of people know about it. So I think it would be the human element, that we are people, and that we are aspiring to do big things.
You're kind of in the nexus there. I mean, you're a journalism student. This is a national. It's getting international coverage from time to time. You're an African American student. Where does that tension all play out for you?
I think it's really interesting. We have classes where we study historical events, and then I enter my sophomore year, and suddenly I am immersed in a historical event. So it is interesting. The first semester, when everything happened the way that it did, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I think sometimes it can be difficult for journalists, especially when you're in the thick of it. So I think for us, the biggest thing was it was kind of a learning experience. I think, going through this process will come out better. And I don't know, I think it'll essentially make us better, more well-rounded.
So I wasn't in the journalism school, but I knew the journalism students to be a proud group. Are you proud to be a Tiger?
Yes, of course. We love our campus. We love our school. In the journalism school, we are a very close-knit community. And so, of course, I am. I'm very proud to be a Mizzou journalism Tiger.
We look forward to having you contribute here in the future, and we look forward to following your career. Thanks for your time, Gabrielle.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.